All right, it's 7 o'clock. Call the meeting to order. Mr. Would you call the roll, please?
Keith Burris.
Here.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston. Here. Bill Lukens.
Here.
Larry Pratt.
Here.
Craig Bromey. Caitlin Turner. Here. Linda Barbell. Here. Thank you.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. As always, remember conflict of interest. If there's anything that you feel should be voted on, the council on the floor, please. Need a motion to approve an amended agenda. Some items to change tonight. Basically, we're keeping on track with this first one. It has to do with the current claims. The total for current claims will be $312,130.08. And that comes about if you look on page 6 of your current claims. Under grants cost service, there's a bill there for a turbine meter for $199. That's actually a double bill. That's expenses paid out of the golf course and not the sewer plant. So we're deducting $199 from grants pumps and sewer, and it will be paid out of the golf course. So again, did I get that right, Missy?
Sounds right.
All right. So the new total for the current claims is $312,130.08. And under new business, we are removing new business item A. That still needs some discussion. Gotta do something. All right. And then resolution number 2021-17. That's a resolution vacating a portion of our right of way north and east of the intersection of Highway 385 and Albemarle Avenue. The change to the current claims, deleting new business item A, adding resolution 2021-17. Make a motion to approve the agenda, the amended agenda, with the current claims now reading $312,130, $312,130.08. Removing item A from new business to be discussed later, and adding resolution 2021-17.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. The motion passes. A motion to approve the minutes from the August 2nd meeting. I'll make a motion for the August 2nd council meeting.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. The motion to approve the bills in between.
Make a motion to approve the bills in between for $229,783.35.
Second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. A motion to approve the amended current claims.
Make a motion to approve the amended current claims, $312,130.08.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to communications from the public. Remind everyone that we do have a public hearing at 7:10 so we may interrupt you. If you want to address the council, is there anybody from the public that would like to address the council? Oh,
Arlen Dahl, City Attorney. Just wanted to take a moment to thank this council for taking tough choices. And we just completed the settlement of a lawsuit that has been going on for about 14 years. There's been many legal items that are just kind of like kick the can down the road. I just want to thank this council for taking the initiative to finish up many of those matters.
thanks, Carl. Thank you, Carl. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Robert Paul, 1327 Schofield. I'll try to be brief, because I know you have the public hearing coming up. A week ago, we had a crew of city workers working along Pacific Street in my neighborhood doing weed cleanup. And I want to compliment all of the effort that went into that. That area looks so much better than it did. I especially like to thank Lori Sherrard for her efforts coming out the next day with their locking shears to get the last of the weeds because it was this was an area that several years ago, the grasses that grew along that area have been cleared out with Roundup. And since that time, it's just been a constant problem with firebush and so forth growing up in there. And I'm wondering what the disposition of the council would be should roam grass be somehow seeded back in along those ditch sites. It sounds like a fine idea to me. I don't know how it would happen, but I mean, just in the event that something would happen on that, it would be a much better cover than with the weeds. And with the weeds gone and the grass is all killed out, it's pretty steep ditch prone to erosion. If and when we ever get heavy rains. So just wanted to.
Yeah, we can assure that your idea can get back to the proper people, have a look at it, and I think it's a good idea.
Okay. But once again, I do want to compliment the effort of the city crew that went on. They've really did a great job in that area. It's so much better than it is. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Thank you, Rob. Did we have somebody else stand up towards the microphone? All right.
Mayor.
Misty, you had something from
Yes.
communication from
I have a notification of raffle from Empower Coalition. They're going to hold a raffle on August 21st at the American Legion. There's information provided to the council, and then there's a sheet of paper under the table if you're interested in the information about the raffle. You can take a picture of it. So council's been provided notification of the raffle by law, and they weren't here to make notification in person, but you don't approve it or anything. You just have to acknowledge that you're aware of it. If you have any concerns about it, this is the time to talk about it. Her contact information is also on the letter.
Thank you. Anyone else? Got a minute? Anybody got a story they want to tell?
They're raising funds for the Toys for Kids program during a poker run fundraiser at the American Legion. $15 each hand, including meals, $5 for an extra hand, $5 wild card draw will be available. There's a list of prizes. Proceeds will be used for the Empower Coalition Toys for Kids program.
All right, we're at 7:10, our public hearing. It's a public hearing for Hot Springs 22788 LLC. Request to vacate a portion of the right-of-way north and east of the intersection of Highway 385 and Battle Mountain Avenue for the purpose of constructing a new Dollar General retail store facility on the property, legally described as beginning at a found monument at the southwest corner of Lot 40, Block 16, of Mammoth Springs addition to the town now, City of Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota. Fence south 89 degrees, 46, 43 east, along the south line of said Block 16 for a distance of 264.76 feet. That's south 001330, west for a distance of 17 feet. That's north 894640, west for a distance of 129 feet, 129.79 feet. Then south 802246, west for a distance of 108.68 feet. Then north 894644, west for a distance of 32.56 feet. Then north 074118, east for a distance of 38.88 feet to the point of beginning, containing 6,096 square feet. Anyone from the public would like to comment?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Robert Paul, 1327 Schofield Street. I have a few questions that I would like to ask regarding this action. And I'm wondering, would you like me to go through them one at a time or state all the questions and proceed that way?
Before you start, do we have anybody here from Dollar General? Okay. If you'd also like to come down front, sir.
Well, you have to speak up on that.
We'll go for the microphone. Bob, why don't you go through one at a time?
Okay. My first question regards what the future access to property immediately east of this right-of-way would be. I don't have any skin in the game, but really it affects me in no way, but I do have a neighbor who has property east of there. And I'm wondering, and he is wondering, whether or not his access, should he decide he would like to develop that area, whether he's still going to be able to do into it from this direction.
Yes. The access that exists now is not going to be taken up completely by Dollar General. They need a small portion to be on the north section of the road that runs through there so that they can meet setback requirements. The remainder of it, Dollar General will actually pay up to the east end of their property. So that from there, if anybody needs access to the property to the east, they would still be able to have it. They're also going to build a retaining wall on the south of that road. Take care of the, there's quite a slope there, so they're going to take care of that. So yes, there will be access to property directly to the east of Dollar General.
I'm assuming part of this property that is in question is the right of way is the continuation of Battle Mountain Avenue going to the east.
Yes, that's my understanding. Did I misstate anything?
No, that's
Sorry, if you could,
that is correct. We're
if you could identify yourself for the record, please.
I'm with Ruth Elmer. We're the developer for the Dollar General. The capital state is actually described as correct. The process of building and you can pretty much see the outline of the existing right.
Yes.
So, okay. So the area in front of where you're building the retaining wall now is still part of the Battle Mountain Avenue, or is that on the property that is being requested for vacation?
That is part of that will remain on Battle Mountain right away, we'll say it was.
So where you're asking is to the north of where the retaining wall is.
Really direction of challenge.
So, it's, can you say that again, please, Bob?
I said I'm really direction.
Bob, you was asking.
I'm wondering if the area that is being requested for vacation of the right of way to the north of that stretch that the retaining wall is on, where Battle Mountain Avenue extends now, that 18 feet that they're talking about, that is on the edge of that, or is that further back to the east of the property?
No, it would be to the north, but it's not, the 18 feet that they're asking for is not directly north of the retaining wall. I believe there's going to be about 40 feet in there. That will be the right of way. So the footage they're asking for is even further north of that line.
Yes. That pretty much takes care of my first question. The second question that I have, and this may also answer that, I'm wondering if by vacating this right-of-way area, that would pose any problems to access due to the springs that are located east of that property?
What located the springs that are in springs located?
When you look at the property, the area that's being vacated, it's 18 feet right off of a highway in front of the building. But their property does extend back to the east. So I don't know where the springs are at, Bob. If they're further east than the Dollar General property, then no, there shouldn't be any problem with accessing those. Their property ends.
I think there's actually maybe four or five lots back here that 28 through, or 24 through 28 that belong to a different owner. So, our property, I think, goes to 29. Yeah, well, just here on this side. Not this side. Yeah. Yes.
I understand.
So, yeah, you're still going to have access to those springs back there through that right away.
And my third question was whether or not the current work being done is actively in the right-of-way area now that it's being asked to vacate. From what I am seeing on this drawing here, that's kind of a moot point. But one question that I do have is, has proper procedure been followed for this? I mean, we've got a project that is underway, and then we've got a request for a vacation of right-of-way. That's kind of striking me as part of the parcel.
I would disagree with you.
I guess my feelings are is if we begin a project and we ask for a vacation, I'm thinking that request should have happened and either granted or dealt with prior to construction starting. I see this as a precedent that is being pressed a little bit more than personally I would like to see. Just wondering what the council's comments are.
I think the procedure was done right now. As far as the cart before the horse, as far as I know, everything that I've seen has been each step in front.
Had the right of way been noticed or discussed before construction began?
Point that, I know of, that was all done, yeah, in the process of them getting the property, but it was still a part that you would have to make sure that the DOT was going to pass it. So that was all part of the process during this.
Is it because of the DOT that this was delayed to this point?
No,
You say some, no, it's just a process of getting everything put together and the agreement being made with the DOT, but everything going.
I think we can probably agree to disagree on this point. It's still striking me as though this is coming in a little after the fact with having this action after the lot has essentially been cleared and work is underway, retaining wall is in, and now we're asking for a vacation of the right of way.
Well, to be totally honest, I don't know when the property was purchased. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that purchase was right when the agreement was being discussed or before that part, that key to that. So I don't know when the exact contract was.
so I agree with the point that you're making, Bob. I understand. the point that you're making.
I hope I'm not being misunderstood because I don't want to come across as being anti-project, pro-project, or whatever. These are just questions that have arisen to me following this request for vacation. And whether it's Dollar General or whether it is anyone else, I just think that there should be a method of procedure that should be followed. And my sense of logic is telling me that it wasn't really followed in this instance. I really think that this should probably have been addressed before construction started.
I don't believe I am misunderstanding your question. It's been through finance zoning. The lawyers looked at the language to make sure that everything's okay. And you're correct that before the building began coming down, this public hearing should have been held in case the council said, no, we're not going to do this. You're absolutely correct.
Well, at this point in time, should the council say no, what does this do to the project?
That's a question that needs to be answered if the council says no. I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, last question that I have, and, you know, in this community, you can hear a lot of things, but I have heard both ways, and I just want to ask, was there any kind of a land exchange between Dollar General and the city regarding this project?
None that I know.
Can you elaborate on that?
Not really.
Okay. The only, a land exchange for somewhere else, no, it's the city is vacating a portion of the road so that Dollar General has enough property so that they can meet the city ordinances as far as the setback. Has there been any other kind of exchange that, I'm aware of? And I hope you see that I am completely honest and open with every question that you put to us.
No, and I appreciate
I'd like
that.
to answer on that.
And like I said, you can hear just about anything in this community, but unless you ask, you're not gonna get a good answer. You're gonna get an embellished answer. I couldn't imagine what property there would be involved that there would be an exchange, but I had been hearing things along that order. From what I am seeing that this gentleman has provided, the area requested is really not a very large area on that lot. And your answer as far as this is letting them meet setback requirements makes perfect sense.
That's also, you gotta remember the approaches and everything, those still have to be played by the DOT. So I don't know if there might have been a point that it seemed like one thing was in front of the other, but really it was all part of it all at one time. I know Because I am the chair for public works.
Yeah.
We come across us also, should we provide, public safety as far as it's, that all those things have to come together. And, well, government sometimes is a little slow. Sometimes private business is a little faster. So yeah, there might have been a point in time where things might seem, but it went by the steps, just like it's supposed.
Okay.
As far as any land street, no.
Okay, very good. I appreciate your time and your consideration on my questions.
I appreciate the fact that if that's what Steve spoke of, outside the doors, I'm glad you brought those questions to us. That way, it's.
Well,
The proper.
I'm glad to hear that there was no land exchange involved in this. I've been in the community long enough where there was a land exchange on a project that left a real bad sense of taste in the community, and there was a lot of hard feelings. And there was also some things that, without going too far, may not have been exactly legal at the time. They definitely were not proper. And I really didn't want to see the city get into any kind of position like that. So thank you for your consideration and your time.
And they got the information.
Anyone else from the public? One last question. What effect will this project have on current property taxes in the area? Ben, do you feel qualified to answer that?
I don't think it, one specific property, and it's commercial. Most of the properties, except for like Walnut Strip, most of them in that area are residential. And it's gonna have commercial discretionary with the county for 5 years.
Okay. So maybe some, maybe not any.
I would say very little or nothing noticeable.
Okay, all right, thanks, David. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob, any more questions? No. All right. Thank you. Any more questions from the public? Dollar General has been working with DOT year, 6 months. I know that they've gone through different access points off of 385.
Yes, this is a site that has more a variety of different ways. Originally, we looked at trying to drive access up and close to the right of way, but we're not always successful with DOT, but we were successful in granting us access that we're currently configured, which is right at just past the curve. So I think it'll configure extremely well for that area, and DOT has issued a permit.
Along the lines of the questions that Bob was asking, as far as things that the public is discussing, one question that I've heard repeatedly is, will this Dollar General store replace the current one, or will it be in addition to the current?
It'll be in addition to, if you follow Dollar General, they've been on a very aggressive growth path in the market. I think the store that's in the market today does extremely well, and they're optimistic based on the traffic pattern. The tops up on that end of town, that it will be another very good performing store.
There's been a lot of concern about the present Dollar General not having any storage for when the shipments come in. They're all just like piled into the aisles, and it's really cluttered and hard to get through. And we're wondering and hoping that there will be something different.
I hear that frequently. I wish I had a great answer for you. We're a development firm that builds for Dollar General. Dollar General occupies the building that we build, subject to the lease. I really don't have the ability to push them on how they operate their business. I wish I did, because candidly, in these types of forums, I get posed that question frequently. And I'm on the road quite a bit, travel. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We cover 4 states. I had the same observation that you had when I stopped in Mr. Work. I wish I had a great answer for you, but I don't.
Public, any more questions? Council?
Thank you guys I'd be happy to answer any other questions that you have, but thank you for your time and your cooperation.
Do you have a finish date, target date?
It probably goes to a little bit of why we're under construction. I think the delivery date will probably, so we're in the middle of the delivery date will probably be on that slow, probably be the 1st of December.
You when?
1st of December.
Oh.
They give us essentially a month, really tight time to get started. I don't have a calendar here probably, but typically they give us 120 days to build the store, so that would probably land us sometime in December of this year.
Excellent, thank you.
One more time, any questions? All right. Go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:32. Need a motion to approve, reject, or table. Yes, we are. Thank you. All right. So now that will take us to executive session. Executive session, please. Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
In accordance with SDCL 1-25-2, 1 personnel.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Executive session will be in the acts. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. No, but mustard.
Yeah, we'll go back to the session. Bill, how long do you think it'll be? A while, I don't know. Okay. Close enough. I see it now. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I don't know about that. Fine. Good account.
This is perfect. Yes.
But yeah, my account says we're doing a good job. Because I don't know, like I mean, okay, so when I first started it, like I put it in my office, I started talking about
You too. You too.
That's a big range. Come out, you can go with that. That's my day. I reach out to the house. And I feel, yeah. So rebuy the house, they had the bed and those. It's been a weird week, you know, with Christmas. One of my classes thinks you're code for the judge. There's one that covers
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. I think that makes. Actually, two. I remember when really doing good. I would say, I was like up to age 7, 8, 6. I thought I was doing good. So I said, yeah. Who's on? How'd you do it? I was here for your dog. Oh, yeah. At night, that's one of those 6 dogs. Are you sir? Are you? No, I'm on Dexter. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not. I bless them. Good. Yeah, there's a couple people I can send you. I'm thinking about right there. Oh, really? Yeah. I know what I mean. Yeah, we're ready to talk about it. Yeah, like that. For instance, that recycle.
But I'm just.
It's right across the street from you. It was right, like, it's the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Couple days ago. What? Yeah, right across the street. Just a big saddlebag on. Yeah, it's sitting out in the road like this. Yeah, a whole parking lot here across the street. I know. You know what's good? He's been there, the bike's been there a couple days. Then I see him, I see it's like maybe he's just, hanging out.
No, I think I'll probably post that shot. I'll put it.
Anyway, you know, what you have to do with
Well, no, they just manufacture. The volunteers. Oh, just, yeah. Well, two cars over by the filters. And two cars sitting there. They don't use them. They're not going to sell them. Yeah. Oh, off in the heat. Off in the heat. Yeah. What's going on here? My taxes are right there. Come on. Oh my God. You suffer. What's that money for? Something else or buying a car? So, maybe they're I didn't know it actually. Oh, you know where the chiropractor is like?
Love that.
Right. Well, so that's left. That's up there. It's a blue house on the left. It's right for St. John's on the left. Oh, okay. Yeah. So how much you work?
Yeah, you would be.
Like,
Let's go back.
oh,
Yeah, you come up to a building, some of the buildings around here, like.
I haven't seen Joy. I think she went back.
Go there, it's like a church.
No, I know she's, right, she's been out and,
Yeah.
she's been dealing with that. And,
Like the city hall might be like 1,500.
and that east, yeah, but she had, very deep, that's a little.
Still.
Oh, they can't there, and she seemed to have a black car. She came back and she moved, she was canceled, so I think she.
Not like they're those.
So I haven't seen that big.
Well, it is big.
Yeah.
They sell. Development or it's other things. And I started. Right there.
My life, you know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's cool.
You're weird. You can take the current.
Yeah, so actually, but
You know, oh, yeah.
that may already. I'm so
I guess they had a little session over there one day, over there, and I was waiting a couple there. Yeah, they're waiting to record. the guy who's taking the bricks away or something. It's like,
That is hard.
from the new,
They did that.
the big, the big from the ball.
Take it away.
I think the guy who's gonna burn his.
Oh,
No, this is the guy.
Somebody else. Doctor Beard.
yeah.
Right? Yeah. And he was moving them and somebody got upset because he was moving them. So they were
When
coming.
he owned them, and then he's selling lots, we took them.
Yeah, now there's a year, for sale sign in the middle of it, so I don't know if it's check that. Is that, I had heard some.
No. Somebody wants to.
Almost ready.
House there, instead of sitting where. And then they want to buy.
That's kind of interesting.
And they need all of it, yeah, I guess.
And then I heard that they weren't gonna do that until after the road. They weren't gonna build anything on the road.
Right.
So then, I don't know, I think it's a time to build it, I think it's your interesting, why would you ever wait?
Yeah.
Then build.
Yeah, they have a fair response to this.
It's county.
It is. And he's the only.
Overgrown, all the things are overgrown.
It's really big. I have super big. She's like a computer to spray it.
Yeah.
I said, you're I never expect that. I never said that. Fuck these. I know if I spray, it's gonna do it with some. Yeah. She was chemist, came into the fire, really sprayed. She was not happy. And like, she just was like, to do that. She got me.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Absolutely.
So.
He's got.
And so she's like, I just showed you their house. Weird thing. Why would they come in?
Well, they had that real.
They're deep in the game. Yes, I guess they let them in go. I was, yeah, I never did that. Everything was. And then, so we're in there.
Yeah.
No, I was, yeah, I always, I don't want
So I guess we're having, Jalen Strasser. Yeah.
He's really like that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I don't think I think she sponsors that. I'm not sure.
Oh, she sponsors a lot, you know.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. She got the money to do it.
Yeah, she really likes like, do it for us.
Yeah.
We got a lot of misbehavior.
So, I don't know if they could, but she would be gone. A lot. So, yeah. So, it's got great.
There's a people behind us, you know, where Dexter at the top,
That's why she
and house on the corner. And then she was on fire. I used to have a light. Oh, that shine right into our yard. After he got arrested, he walked home, whatever happened to that guy? He said, "I'll be in jail for like 15 years for COVID." He had like 7 Yeah. They moved and I really, so they
But Amber's a piece of great.
I don't want to. I don't want to. No, when I had a light on the pole, and I saw the car coming over they took it right down, it was far as cat, I got one cat. So she kissed him on the back and calls the dog word. Usually Gerald would come back. I'm like, oh. And I had seen the dog word around me. And I see him one time, I see him in the grocery store. I said, "Hey, what are you doing down there?" "Oh, she's getting some feral cat." No, so sure enough, the cat went down there. I just thought, you know, I was so sick in the yard. This is a cat. So they're gonna stay in his yard. So we got their mice, you know. He's like a cat, not a dog. So I had to go over to get him the next day. Got thrown in the goose cow. That girl. Yeah, he came. He said, "Well, can you describe the cat?" I said, "Gray. Looks like American Beauty." He took his phone out. "What's it look like?" You know. He said, "What's his name?" I said, "Geraldine Ferraro." That's his name. He thought that was so cute. Then I went and paid $10. Yeah, Tanya says I'll eat it. He's a big guy. He's very, he doesn't like it. Now he's fat. So then I did not like getting past the stage. No, and you know, yeah. So then I love and I see what he I'm thinking because he wouldn't have. They put like a little no. So I suppose that's yeah, but he wasn't feral. You know, he's not a feral cat. He doesn't really have a lot of feral cats around.
I think it was weather's supposed to take it, sir. But they don't.
Oh, yeah. I say Gerald, the person going home that night, afternoon, don't leave, but he's pretty fun. Don't go away, which cat? Then we had a toad, it had 3 stripes on it, 2 on the side and 1 down the middle. In the spring, he was talking about biospheric springs. There's always water levels high out. That's good. I do a lot of deer and stuff. No, we got new neighbors across. Diane Moon, who went to Wyoming. Was Price Wars. Big Wars. She was only asking for 120 and we gave her 2 cats. From California. Wow. Yeah. And wanted to pass that. So he works for the lake company, he's like a contractor, like,
It was called.
and then, they got two girls, two young girls,
50 years
in the
ago.
homeschool.
It was a part of like.
Nice people. I seen the ad on TV. Just started seeing it. Right around the
So my boss is building, my office was saying, that house had come up. Say right now. Little house. Just talking about how people regret this. It was so. But, you know, actually, by time.
So where you living now?
Never.
Oh.
Yeah, he ended up selling.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. It's gonna be hard to live.
No, it's not. I started fixing it.
Oh, really?
That's a tear down.
No. I know why. No.
Squirrels. Oh, yeah, squirrels. Lights though. Oh, gee. Foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta make a
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, teenage.
It's a beautiful lot, house. One more week.
Because like, I know, there was a place where
The water that runs down.
we got started, was, you know, Blue Hills.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little,
So we're getting them. Yeah, we go out there all the time. We just gotta take it home. Oh, we can't behind it. It's like they're saying too much.
I showed him the battery, sorry, I'm like, it's.
Well, probably are hard.
Last time I went out with,
So he's not afraid.
21st is the last advertising.
He started so this time became all right, so BRPN. He's out to be said something better. Reason
Yeah.
But no, anyway. It's so south, Custer, 40 now.
I
I think we need to spray really good right now. There's a lot of areas that I haven't sprayed yet, because I know where I'm not related.
Yeah.
And I like to spray. I feel like that's. Yeah. But I don't. That's actually kind of like. That's. So,
But anyway.
One thing I know for sure, they're all the time.
Yeah. Well, your own covenants prohibit it. Yeah. Then anything's been put in. Yeah. Anyway.
Just to.
Oh, yeah. I was just.
You're like, I'm standing right here.
Just like sit down in the corner for tax on.
No, it was.
No. So they did. I know. And the other one. I Over, yeah, over. I don't know.
He had to take it to the down.
But it's certainly, I don't remember that part. But,
It's kind of long, it's almost shooting at the end, like,
yeah, exactly.
finish the rest of that.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that. The exercise.
Well, yeah, well, check. I mean, You mean, did you? You're sitting on flowers. I'm like, what? I just planted them. You just popped out of the barrel. Oh my gosh. Dude. Wow. Someone seen it with a video. I know. Sarah brought Zach forgot Wilson yeah, she could.
Awesome. I like it.
You're making a little more fun.
No, we did. Because they were locked.
And they serve us something like that.
I still want to get that little look. Oh, yeah, that looks good. I don't.
On the weekend.
One
Yeah. One of the
Just spray. It's so late. It's so I'm not sure anything's going
And I'm glad that you said that. I'll think about
somebody there. Yeah, I was like, I'm fine.
We do. Yeah. No worries. I forgot about it again because I just. I gotta do it 6 times a day.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was sounds like,
Yeah.
We did that. Yeah, I think that was.
Oh, did you come? Yeah. Do you like your house? Oh,
So, well, see, it did that. Big thing about the so that's simple time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's simple time.
Yeah. It's on your website.
Oh, that's one thing I don't have to. First, you know that. You read that thing. And you know what you're doing. It's like, oh, you can visualize. This is the way the whole state is laid out. So you start out with right here.
Said, I don't know how my
I'm not. Saying that, right? This is about the first thing. I hate the I don't. But I'm feeling once in a while.
Oh, yeah, who's that? Your sister Rosamond? Yeah. Okay.
I've never done it. No, I never will. No, that's not me. I'll do a simple with a guy and girl.
Yeah. Well, don't take that in there because you're getting rid of that special edition.
Right.
So you can go to you know.
And I still run.
There's only one cycle, right?
Yeah. No, I did that. But like, we're up there, we're arguing. So,
Yeah.
you got to. We spent 30, 40 minutes working on I was like, yeah, do that. I'm like, the funniest thing is that he had a worker.
Oh, good, Christine. I've known her forever. She actually liked
He swears. I want. 2-3 months later, I get a call. It's so 40 years ago. And I'm splitting it.
each week I have a new time. I know. It's so pretty.
I guess and if you just
It just comes to Nobody else has it. I know. You can look up their website. No. Yeah. Everybody's information is available. Overextended my labor. And we're working. You did? Yeah. Did you ever? No. No. Oh, church. She never responded? Why? What did you try to correct her? Oh, I told her. I'm pretty open. I didn't know how to get back. I was like, what I mean, what? You know, attacker. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah, but I really picture.
I had the. But clear them all.
Well, there's, plastic housing. They do have a site, they have that. They do have a couple, university out there, on the left. So,
They made that really.
you know, they do have. But they do. She's very, yeah. And so, she just both they just all the chamber, they just go. And
He was so.
they're very pro.
Made me.
And they're trying to call the Saber Sioux.
Maybe wish I could hire.
They're good market. They're really good. And so they're the ones who do my website. I get 15,000.
Well, I get.
We've got
All the hell they're talking about, you do. Yeah. All you.
They don't do those. Because they yeah, I. There's no. It's probably right. It's like and she was good. Yeah, exactly. No, there's a lot.
As I was
Yeah.
I would put it
Yeah, right, and it does take a lot to figure out the connection. Would you play? I'd like to see how that continues.
They say it's but.
Well, I'm still passing that later. It never used to be like.
Yeah, did you get any of the flyers that dropped off at our property office? If not, I'll drop some off. I texted her or something, and I said, I'm printing a lot of flyers for the breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
And, and I said, I'm dropping them off at the office and email everybody to come down and get some. And I've been putting a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, I can share it out.
What about when it was cheap? Also, taking some still not really. So I was, I noticed that. And they were, and I told them the flyer's not ready for the gate. Read it. I know. Read it. Represent this. And that gets done.
So,
I took,
I don't know.
4th of July.
Why?
I did through the status of the building.
What they want to do is, we'll come to that, some of the cases. Like actually,
I know, okay. Anyway, it's give it that.
Yeah. I got to know. It's a nice sign. There we go. Yeah, yeah. So I work for David Childs, Walmart, 3 attorneys. And this company that buys some yeah, they buy the same thing.
Right,
What's your day? Okay. Yeah, maybe take a break.
right.
That was a fun time. That's why they like it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
stuff.
and then we just share a key and then
They're like bar, brain.
we leave them in and
Right,
change
well,
them out.
This lady.
Just specify.
She left everything to her too. She left everything. And that's left everything. Well, there's two
Like the 15.
Anyway, they say like that big. Something, the computers, or the grass or whatever.
No,
But now,
keep waiting.
they have. It was proper games.
As long as we can get them there.
It was just a basic jet.
I was at work.
Something
And
from
then also we're going to.
Yeah, it was a paper stop.
Law.
It's real.
before they were 60.
Go there, yeah.
Different programs.
It was still a clue. Like they got, I got Jason's.
From my
This is
phone.
why I love, give me $3 million on my phone.
Sure.
So make some like 60 grand. Yeah.
I can never make it.
Brother, better if we get
I can make it
so he started
from my
getting
phone.
We'll see.
Yeah, actually, we are doing questions and they,
Songs not.
It's stupid.
That's awesome.
that's the type of, and find out they.
Yeah, she said, well, it depends on the speed. Printers and their setup.
Interstate.
Different.
So.
And it's not set at the same, so it doesn't sit at the same. I have a 5G phone, and she said, the phone must be saying the same thing as the right scheme as prints, how small it is in, and I hear what comes out with
no, I read.
Try to work.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, it's good. I agree. I'm yeah.
What that, before I came. You told me to put ice first. Yeah, when I get interested.
Oh, no, I rechecked the weight. Yeah, it was hard, that was like, it was hard to do. So I hope I had to go to her, so, like, oh, yeah. So, anyway, she was available, so we were. Only if you'll give it to me and show her a friendship tradition. Yeah. Maybe.
I work for that.
Okay. Yeah, and you know too, and I know it's like, I mean, it's not fair for the road.
No.
But we'll still give you that, you know, so. But what it goes up to church. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Yeah, oh my gosh.
yeah. No, she's not. No.
Oh, yeah, because our copy is kind of like, so that's actually kind of.
Yeah.
That's why you're calling. I saw that, I had it down. So I was like, yeah, it's covering.
Yeah, they were talking.
Okay, sure will. But it's a lot.
You know what she would think when she was doing it on the she was imagine you put a lot of you start breaking
That back here,
like we had one back where I was sitting, right? Old, so they just were bottles, all that kind of stuff, like old trees. And we're actually, it's like, east side.
Oh, so this is funny.
As a friend. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he cited the whole person.
Okay, so
Anyway, but anyway, Obama showed us that.
of course. And this is
They probably needed that. They wrote a bunch of this group. So like,
so I got a text filter.
the guy, this was, nice house.
Why don't you try that?
You feel like three bedrooms,
And I would think, that sounded like, I feel like if I started
take care of
that.
People get a large, like, distribution, they're all spread out. Anyway, HR manager, crazy, one of the crazy.
Oh,
It's really inefficient because she's like, she told me the guy was kind of this really nice guy. Who does on it, makes the money, see what it's good all about. I mean, and when she left, they were like 45. She's like, they didn't like work on that thing. They were giving like 45. So again, I know it's money, but all. Well, I'm still there, but it's sorry. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't have like an engineering background like Don. Yeah. Like ideally, with get it that way to everything. She wasn't sorry going to Harvard. Yeah. I'm sorry. This is like one thing all the cities make. Yeah.
All right, thank you for being patient with us. So we move into personnel. Can I get a motion to approve personnel action for personnel items A through J?
I'll make a motion to approve personnel action items A. Second.
Discussion?
I'll make it only A through I.
Correct, thank you. All eyes and glasses make it look like a J. So personnel actions, A through I.
I'll amend that to A through I. I'll start with the
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We've added the resolution to the agenda. Resolutions typically come for new business. Does everyone have the resolution in front of you? It's resolution 2021-17. Need a motion to approve that resolution, please.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2021-17.
Second.
All right, that's a resolution vacating a portion of the right of way north and east of intersection Highway 35. I read that earlier. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Congratulations. After many months of discussion, I'm personally excited that as we look to figure out how Hot Springs is going to grow, we now have business on the north end of town.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we'll move on into new business, item B. Possible motion discussion to accept the estimate from Sontech.
Make a motion to accept the estimate from Suntech to outfit the 2021 Dodge Durango PD vehicle at a cost of $16,986.83. $12,150 in additional estimated equipment expenses not listed include radar at $2,400, dash cam at $5,100, radio at $3,500, and vehicle graphics at $1,150. Additional budget authority of $12,550 will be funded by future supplemental appropriation. Sorry.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item C, possible motion discussion to approve the plat of Martin Track 1.
Make a motion to approve the plat of Martin Track 1, Martin Track 2, and Martin Track 3 of Boulder Falls Addition, City of Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota, formerly a portion of the balance of the northwest 1/4 and northeast 1/4 of section 26.
Second motion. Discussion? Kathy, are you still out there?
I am.
Would you just give a brief summary to the council of what we're doing here? Thank you.
We have a buyer and seller working together to transfer ownership of this property. And the title company said the written description as stated was not insurable. And so the buyer and seller agreed to replat it to written descriptions that worked.
Thank you. Any questions for Kathy?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks.
One lot for just that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. New business item D, possible motion discussion of approve the temporary alcoholic beverage license.
Make the motion to approve the temporary alcoholic beverage license application from HSBLF Properties LLC, I'm sorry, that was Properties LLC to be used on 9/4/21 at Hot Springs Fine Arts Booster Concert featuring the Shells. Time event to be held at the Mueller Center, 201 South.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business item E, possible motion discussion to approve an automatic budget supplements.
Make a motion to approve an automatic budget supplement of $1,000 to the cemetery perpetual fund 701-437-100-430. For the Evergreen Cemetery Tree Planting Project, grant revenue received from DANR RCF grant number 2021 CF 002.
Second.
Discussion?
How many trees did we get?
That's that.
7.
Yeah, it cost us a little more. Yeah, it was 50/50. We had our guys.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. New business item F, possible motion discussion to approve automatic budget supplements.
Make a motion to approve the automatic budget supplement, $3,146.32 to the additional sales tax fund, 212-212-00-42200, with primarily design, engineering, airport multi-unit T-Hanger project, reimbursement, revenue received from EIP grant funding, number 3-46-0022-013-0, excuse me, 2020.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And the new business item G, possible motion discussion to approve an automatic budget supplement.
Make a motion to approve an automatic budget supplement of $10,946 to the additional sales tax fund 212-21200-4200 for the Jennings Bridge Replacement Project, reimbursement revenue received from big grant funding, ECN 068.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Committee reports, Admin and Finance, Caitlin?
Caitlin left the meeting. The next admin finance meeting will be the 7th of September. That's a Tuesday at 1 p.m. at City Hall.
Thank you. Airport Advisory, Bill?
Yes, the Airport Advisory Committee met Thursday, August 5th, 2021 at 8 a.m. at the airport. Members present were Larry Vetterman, Ed Jensen, John O'Connell, Don Connor, and Petra Wilson. City employees present were Rick Breitenbach, John Gregory, Tracy Baskin, and Scott Stogie. Elected officials present were Mayor Nelson and myself. And guests present were Melissa Niles from Civil Air Patrol. Under old business, Petra provided an update on the Balloon Festival. To date, there would be 32 balloons participating. They've got stakes being placed out on the airport grounds to keep people out of restricted areas and help guide traffic. So the planning process seems to be going very well. Under new business, in July, we sold 1,742 gallons of aviation fuel. We had 88 fixed wing flight operations, including 10 live flight operations, and 35 balloon operations. We discussed potential retail fuel price revisions. When we look at the fuel prices on August 5th, within a 65-mile radius, the average price was $5.10 a gallon. The self-service mean price was $5.06 a gallon. We paid $4.29 wholesale for our last load of fuel. The committee is recommending that we increase our price to $5.05 a gallon. We will take another look at that before the next council meeting when we'll ask for the agenda item to increase. Its prices are continuing to go up in the region. We had an FAA inspection based on the informal report. The report was good. We're following the rules. Our systems are working, and we had no findings. We talked a little bit about private hangar holders, grounds maintenance requirements. The owner and the builder, we just talked about they're responsible for final grading, but the city can provide some extra dirt if need be to fill in around the concrete. And then it's our responsibility for weed management and overseeding. We talked about airport water usage and what the city is paying Fall River water users. Tracy said we can take a look at how much we're watering the grass out there to see if we can reduce our water bill a little bit. We provided the Airport Advisory Committee with an overview of the tentative 2022 budget. Rick provided us an update that our Super AWAS airport weather observation system is currently down and not working. We have had a lightning strike. If we were to go out and buy the repair parts, it would be several $1,000s to repair that. We were informed, however, during our inspection that there are so many airports replacing Super AWAS with AWAS 3 that there are parts available around the country, and they will be making arrangements to ship those parts to us. So it'll just be a matter of changing out finding the parts that have failed so we can get our our super AWAS that in service hopefully within the next few weeks. There is been a note put out that the AWAS is down. We talked about AWAS 3 being our next priority. As soon as AIP funding is available, that should be a 100% funded project. Unless some other funding source is available, it's likely we will not be able to purchase the AWAS 3 until 2024, as that is about a $300,000 purchase. We talked about the part-time help at the airport as far as should we be looking at a skill set other than just somebody that can mow the grass, somebody that can maybe do some other handyman type activities, small types of repairs. Make no decision on that. Let's talk about what type of skill set we ought to be looking for. Had one member bring up that wants to get the AWAS 3 installed, that we should be looking again at being able to sell Jet A. We discussed that if that happens, that really needs to be done from a private fixed base operator. The city has no plans to pursue Jet A sales at this time due to equipment costs and the limited shelf life of the Jet A fuel itself. The mayor informed the committee that as of the meeting date, the city had not signed the contract for the T-Gamers because of paperwork delays from High Country Directors. KLJ has been working with High Country Directors on very complicated paperwork, and that is being resolved, and that should be up for council approval, future council agenda. Rick brought up that airport camping is becoming very popular around the country, and so we want to start discussing how we might become part of that movement. It's actually where folks fly in, set up their tent under their airplane, use rental cars or courtesy cars to travel into town. So we'll be talking about that more as time goes on. There will be a fly-in in this year, September 9th through the 12th. Last year, I think we had somewhere between 50 and 80 planes come in, sold a lot of fuel. About half those folks that flew in did camp under their plane, and the other half came into town and stayed in our motels. So it is a very good event for the community. Again, that'll start Thursday, September 9th, and then Sunday, September 12th. Our meeting adjourned at 10 a.m. and the next meeting will be Thursday, September 2nd, 8 a.m. at the airport.
Any questions for Bill? Thank you, Bill. Custer Fall River Waste Management, Larry?
The next meeting of the Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management District will be September 9th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at the Miller Center.
Thank you, sir. Historic Preservation, Deborah?
The next meeting is September 1st, 5 p.m. Wednesday, here at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Evans Plunge Advisory, Linda?
Okay. The Evans Plunge Advisory Committee met on August 12th, 2021 at noon at the Evans Plunge. Committee members present were Sandy Ferguson, Chris Hansen, Kathy Wren, Cody Perez, Tom Naz, Maris Smith, and myself. Absent was John Gregory, Troy Lurs, and Allison Ritterbusch. We were welcomed by Chris Hansen, and we went into the fall programming with Hot Springs High School involving CPR and first aid training is still on with dates to be determined. The high school has on board an instructor that is a certified scuba instructor, and looking into if that instruction could be held at the plunge. Look into if they can get high school credit for lifeguard training and the program.
The Fall River Swim Team tried to accommodate their practice times. And we discussed an agreement with the VA Medical Center to follow up on the water exercise for PTSD patients and the use of our gym. The Fall River Hospital, the aquatic therapy services is working out well with their physical therapy department. In staffing, it was reported that all college students are gone and they're losing high school students, 8 students in the last 2 weeks. And they have had to shut down their outdoor pool last week. May need to look into closing for a 3rd day during the week instead of offering split shifts. We are going into September with 5 guards with 2 part-time available. The front desk, where 1 person resigned, and we are left with 4 part-time and 4 full-time and 1 part-time. Janitor, we have 2.25 persons available, may have 2 more available for the fall and winter months. Maintenance issues, replacing the pressure tanks, brought in some spinners, and looking at estimates on the 3rd tier HVAC. The next meeting will be September 9th, 2021, noon at the Evans Plunge, and we adjourn at 12:50.
Any questions for Linda? Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Parks Recreation, Larry?
Okay. The meeting started at 3 p.m. Rosny gave a talk on the Riverwalk grant, educational interpretive science and maintenance. It was a very informative presentation that she made. Cemetery, Rosny. Cemetery update, water system update. The water was shut off at Blackfield, but it is now back on. Staff shortage continues to impact cemetery cleanup and maintenance. Suggestion for noxious weed cleanup is to bring the goats in to certain parts of the cemetery and bring the suggestion before the council. From the rec department, ongoing hydro parties on August 21st, road walk. Barbara Walters was asked and was accepted to Parks and Rec committees with the residents department. Let's see, Hot Springs Park assets discussion, Butler Park softball fence options. There was still no discussion on that. Vandalism of bathroom park fences. BART is working on the vandalized areas. The Balloon Festival is planned for August 27th to the 29th. As Chicago Parks, the upper and lower, the new city website will have direction links to both parks. Centennial Park, Fall River Channel, where Heinrich continues watering needs second time. John has made contact with the individual. Discussion of the pound improvements across options. The design phase is still in progress. At the Balloon Festival, there is concern of access to Butler Park. We're talking about products only at that small coordination. At the Brookside Park, the Dipper variance improvements suggested by USACE 50% complete their work in progress. It's 100 feet south of Dipper. And continuous river channel cleanup, swimming area, and cattail. School Street Park, the need to replace and fix the wooden ground playground equipment. A new equipment would cost $22,000. The merry-go-round fix or replace, it needs to base fixed. Newer center, the skyline installation complete, theater engineering roads inspected, and maintenance that's complete. Continuation seeking price quotes for the commercial stove and the hood. Work is in progress. Unfortunately, COVID hit that time. Geothermal system improvements, troubleshooting continues. The last thing was a big focus on the wood. Depot Visitor Center chamber staffs going to occupy May 31st until Labor Day. Hail damage was scheduled for a replacement budget for the year 2022. They certain claim high. Maine, electric service upgrade to Blackfield Electric, power from wall to main, power, no cost has no. In old business, the memorial bids, donation with actors, Dave Scott, discussion, the Weaver Park Dog Park, and the Weaver Memorial Tennis Courts. There's no other information as of yet. Time the meeting is closed, but the next scheduled meeting is 3 p.m. September 1st, 2021, first Wednesday of the month at Dover Center.
Questions for her?
Meeting was September 1.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Planning and zoning, JR.
The next planning and zoning meeting will be Wednesday night, the 18th at 7 p.m. here at the Muir Center.
Thank you. Public safety, Bill, JR.
Public safety met today at 10 a.m. here at the Muir Center. Present for the first part of the meeting were Mayor Nelson, and then JR, Deborah, myself, Fall River County Emergency Manager Frank Maynard, and we have one member of the public. We have no police department update. Under old business, the mayor and I have an action item to provide some next steps to ensure compliance with the family daycare ordinance. Our plan is to set up some face-to-face meetings with the family daycare providers, have a discussion with them to make sure they understand why we passed the ordinance and understand from their side of it why they're not able to, or why they've chosen not to fill out the license application if they're having trouble getting the information if requested or what. But we don't want to heavy-hand the issue. We do want to understand and work with them to get it in compliance. So we still need to set those meetings up and work on that. Regarding the no trespass order administration fee, we need to revise an ordinance so that we can establish a fee. We think we want to revise Title 13, Chapter 130. Discuss that with Misty after the meeting, if that would be an appropriate place to add that. It's our miscellaneous offenses ordinance. It would be a simple place to add some verbiage discussing the no trespass orders. So once we get that, if we determine that's the right place, we'll write that up and we'll have to come before council for the 13. We talked again about the need to revise the fire protection ordinance regarding fireworks. And I'll look down at Garland. Probably going to need some guidance to make sure that we are reading South Dakota Codified Law 34-37-11. The way I read it, there is no exemption for municipalities, but because we are in the Black Hills National Forest Fire Protection District, the only thing we are allowed to utilize as far as consumer fireworks is novelties. So we need to change our ordinance to prohibit all consumer fireworks other than novelties. The way I read the law, we could still use display fireworks. It's what the city uses in the annual 4th of July display. Those are a different class of fireworks, but no longer would we allow anything really other than sparklers, snakes, and smoke bombs, party poppers, yeah. So all the discussion we had at that one council meeting about when should we have it, can we shorten it? Bottom line is South Dakota codified law is pretty plain because we're in the fire protection district. The answer is no, but I would like a legal opinion on that. And we're going to have to move on that fairly quickly because our current ordinance allows, because South Dakota codified law allows fireworks over New Year's Eve, we need to make sure our ordinance has changed. Because there's also some serious liability issues that go along with allowing fireworks should a fire start. And once we get that done, then we've got a major communications effort to the public that we need to take care of. We also talked about there's a new crosswalk on Minnetonka Avenue across from Moccasin Springs. We've been talking about this for quite a while, ever since Briars came to us on where the yellow curve should be painted along Minnetonka, which is on the north side of the street, or where and how far it should go. And before we start putting paint down on the curb, we would actually want to talk with the business owners and at least get their opinion on which side of the street they'd like to lose their parking. Because right now, by allowing parking on both sides of the street, it's very difficult. We have two-way traffic on Minnetonka right there. So we've got to begin to get some input from the public on that and turn the folks loose on things curves. We also discussed the issue around house numbers. It actually is a requirement within the International Building Codes that we reference in our ordinances that every house have its number legibly placed on the house with at least, I think it's 4-inch letters. I'm not sure. We've got Scott checking on that. So we've got some more information to get on that. But we've probably got some work ahead of us on communicating that to the citizens, that if you don't have your house numbers on there for emergency purposes, that's really important. If you need a fire truck or an ambulance, you probably don't want to drive it up and down the street looking for you. And again, we did have a citizen present from Garden Street that had a concern. Right there where there's the two curves on Garden Street, there's no signs marking those curves. And the citizen indicated that some folks having trouble negotiating those curves. And the request was drop the speed limit from 15 or 25 to 15 and install some signs. Calling attention to there's two 90-degree turns there, so we're going to take a look at that. Our meeting ended at right around 12 noon, and our next meeting will be Monday, September 20th, 10 a.m. here at the Beaver Center.
JR? Just to reiterate what we talked about with the fireworks, that's a state law, and we are in that fire district. There's nothing that allows us to have fireworks in the state other than our display that we have display for the 4th of July, our state employees fires off. So for the public, we're not out to get you the state law. We're in a fire district. My eyes, I can't see us deviating that at all. And this should alleviate some of the issues and concerns and complaints speak about length of time fireworks. We shouldn't have them anyway, according to state law.
One minor item that I forgot to bring up, just a minor thing. We did talk about the work we're doing on the ordinance for medical marijuana. We have received guidance from the state on what a sample ordinance might look like. We have talked about the specifics that we have to, whether the license fee, hours of operations. So public safety is going to be working on that ordinance. Planning and zoning is going to be working on the zoning ordinance. And all of that has to have the public hearing, the first and second reading. It has to be in place by the end of October. So those two committees have a lot of work ahead of them. The good resources that South Dakota Municipal League provided us, I think we can get that done without too much trouble.
Personally, I want to thank Bill for the work that he's been putting together for the ordinance. And it looks like we are right in line with what the state came out with. Good job. Thank you.
Any questions for JR or Bill? Thank you, gentlemen. Public Works, Dave?
August 10th was the meeting, started at 1 p.m. here at the Community Center, and those in attendance were. Can you hear me? Sorry. August 10th, 1 p.m. here at the Community Center was the meeting. Those in attendance was Ed Johnston, Billy Morrow, myself, and Jared Luce. He is a contractor. Things that we discussed: sewer and water services on Martin Street Improvement District. Keeping the yellow curve, but we referred that, I'm going to call that to safety due to the fact that they have a better handle on it, and it's definitely a safety situation there on the cars passing. Fall River Channel annual inspection is scheduled for Wednesday, the 25th of this month. Drainage complaints and improvements on Middle Lark Drive and other runoff issues were discussed, and possible fixes for those. Sewage backup for Garden Street. Still looking to get some more information and under consideration with Public Works. City events, we went through quite a bit on that, on the planning request for the city and resources. Discussed the fleet mechanic hiring positions that were being considered. Or should I say, applicants being considered. And we already voted on that tonight. Discussed Valley View drainage improvements and the Episcopal Church steps. We're almost done. I think we had one more day's worth of work on that. Additional pavement marking required around the school. That is why Mr. Lucy did at the meeting, trying to figure out exactly what his portion was and where he would go. And this information was given to him that was wrong. He thought he was going on to the school's parking lot, which the city does not maintain that. We also discussed right around the dip bridge, on the north of the river on that section. And then we're doing planning and scheduling for 8 quotes for pavement repairs, including patching and chip and seal. And the meeting was called at 3:10.
Any questions for Dave?
No, but I do want to comment on the employees that are working Fall River from the dip bridge and putting the riprap and all that. What a beautiful, noticeable difference that makes. And I can see that Fall River turn structural actions. On Sunday, we had a company lunch. This was in gathering in the park.
That was really nice. Our next meeting will be August 31st at 1 p.m. here at the Mills.
Thank you, Dave. Southern Hills Golf Course, I wasn't able to attend the last meeting. I had conflicting meetings. And I don't have the minutes yet from that meeting. The city is struggling with our email, working with our IT folks to get us started on it again. I'll defer that report to the next council meeting. The next meeting of the Southern Hills Golf Course will be September 13th. It's on Monday. City Hall, 5 p.m. and the public as well. Misty, Finance Officer report.
Thank you. I plan to report my budget planning progress, but I was just told this morning that we're adding another budget hearing for this Thursday, the 19th at 5 p.m. to be held at the Mueller Civic Center. I understand this is to address the topic of adding another full-time employee to the maintenance department. Although I'm not concerned with all the added expenses and use of unassigned fund balances to support recurring increases in expenses without discussing the plan to pay for it year after year. So I'm looking forward to your discussions regarding this issue on Thursday night. Since the last meetings, I have completed the recalculation of the PD expenses, adding an SRO. I estimated the expenses at $69,380 for the first year, with $40,000 being provided to the city by the Hot Springs School District. That was based on some comments that were made during the meeting and some public safety meetings that have been had with the principal of the school. We still need to create a job description and resolution establishing the new position in the city, as well as draft a contract or agreement with the school. I also recalculated personnel expenses in the water and wastewater department with their request to restructure employees within the departments. I updated the Excel spreadsheets and the accounting software with all the changes discussed and agreed to during the budget meetings. I sent the updated worksheets to each department head via email. I'm working on the budget notable expenses and the appropriation ordinance, which will both be provided to council at the 9/7 meeting. I'm also working on the tax levy document for submission to the county after the ordinance passes the second reading. As a reminder, the total amount we had available for an increase to the property taxes levied was $38,967. I wanted to remind the council that so far this year, we've additionally appropriated almost $300,000 from the general fund unassigned fund balance. The main contributors were the Froman settlement, the West Oak demo, and the Corner settlement. This total does not include a significant employee leave payout of $5,900 and other unplanned, unexpected expenses such as the PD car outfitting for $12.5 that you just approved at this meeting. We have $10,220 left in contingency for 2021. On August 18th, I will attend the SDML General Government Policy Committee meeting via Zoom, and we'll be discussing the following: marijuana, the issue of licensing, and the potential municipal ownership of any licenses that have been legalized, medical and/or recreational; whether or not a city should have the option of having 3 aldermen per ward; if we support legislation which prohibits punitive damages from being assessed against an organization that implements reasonable cybersecurity concerns or controls. We'll talk about updating the wording in some law to establish a 6-month time limit for deadlines for signatures on a petition to change the form of government. We'll discuss potential to modify publication requirements of salaries and wages due to what happens when people review those every year. Proposed legislation to require combined elections will also be on our agenda. The charge of this committee is to review policies dealing with municipal legislative issues, executive municipal policy, elections, and financial administration. The committee examines the effect of federal and state laws and regulations on municipal government. I'm proud and thankful to be chosen to serve on this important committee with the Municipal League. I wanted to update the council. The certified letters have gone out for those potentially eligible to participate in the repealed residential tax rebate program the city had enacted in March of 2018. Those letters inform those potentially eligible that they have until October 15th to visit with Scott Sogi and complete the pre-approval form. The Fall River County Director of Equalization will have to be involved with each request for rebate, and I talked to her this morning about her plans to prepare a form to use as certification of the amount available for rebate. The program was for 5 years, and we repealed the ordinance effective May 5th, 2021. These added expenses for the city are estimated at $25,000 for the first year, and if property values grow every year, they'll grow every year until they're fully paid out. Once we reach the October 15th deadline, we will sit down with the assessor and prepare a final list of those participating and get started paying out the rebates already due. On July 28th, I received and forwarded each of you and our city attorney an email with guidance regarding medical cannabis. You may recall earlier this year we passed a temporary ordinance prohibiting the zoning or licensing until the state promulgated rules. I'm glad to hear that public safety has been discussing those because I hadn't heard back from the email, and fast forward to October, they're thinking they're going to have the rules. In fact, they're already available to review online at medcannabis.sd.gov. So we need to act to adopt more comprehensive zoning and licensing ordinances. And Bill, I'm happy to hear that you guys are on that. And P&Z at your next meeting, hopefully we'll be hammering out the zoning details because we are not on schedule according to the letter that they sent us, but hopefully if we get on track, we'll have our stuff in place by the time the state has come out with their rules. We've also received model, and we did get great guidance from the SDPA who worked with attorneys and gave us some words to use in our ordinances. So we just have to figure out what we want to say about the things we want to say, where we place those in our ordinances. We're also reviewing model employment personnel policy updates prepared by the South Dakota Public Insurance Alliance with legalized medical marijuana updates to ensure our city policies are clear and concise regarding the new legislation. As of today, there's still no state portal to request ARPA allocations. I continue to check for information. Once the portal is available, we need to provide the following: signed award terms and conditions agreement, so that'll be coming up. Signed assurances of compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, municipal budget totals, confirmation that we accept or deny the funds. Denied funds will be allocated to other municipalities. We have 60 days to accept the funds after they're made available, or they'll be deemed denied. Funds may only be used for those categories as provided for in the ARPA legislation, interim rules, and accompanying FAQs. Please familiarize yourself with this information. Municipalities are required to retain the information and will be responsible for all reporting to the federal government on the appropriate expenditures of all funds. Funding will come in two pieces a year apart. Our municipality will receive the first half, or tranche, they're calling it, of its allocations within 60 days after we apply for the funds through the state portal. The second half of the funds will be sent 12 months after the first. These one-time funds must be obligated by December 31st, 2024 and spent by December 31st, 2026. As Bob mentioned, we're having some IT issues within the city. We upgraded our Exchange servers and we're not able to fully migrate the information over. Brian with Black Hills Technology will be down tomorrow to continue working on the issues with our emails and city website. If you've not gotten your issues fixed with Brian directly, please bring your city-issued laptops to City Hall as early as possible in the day tomorrow, and we'll have Brian fix it up for you. I wanted to give you an update on the Project Boundary Fence, but I'm going to save that for next time. It's some cybersecurity efforts being made by the South Dakota Public Insurance Alliance for the city, and I'm working on getting us signed up for that.
Any questions from us? As we bring our laptops tomorrow.
If yours isn't working yet, please bring it in.
Okay. Thank you.
That's everyone's schedule. Yeah, drop it off anytime.
All right, we don't have a city administrator report, so I'm up. I originally had a very short report for you, and I received an email this afternoon that I want to share with council, and I want to share with the city of Hot Springs. The email Starts out, thank you for the hospitality. It's from John Snow. I wanted to take a second and write you about my experience staying in your town for a week. I'm a full-time RVer and I've been on the road with my dog since leaving our home city of Las Vegas last October. I've been staying at the KOA a few miles from City Hall, and it has been amazing. I've been to a ton of different areas and experienced a wide range of personalities, and your town has some of the best I've encountered. People are pleasant, polite, clean, and have a great all-around vibe to them. I also wanted to comment on the Riverwalk trail you all have. I jog pretty much every day, and I've had to stop to take pictures multiple times because it's so nice and wanted to share it. Something that really stood out was the fact that there are multiple restrooms that were clean with paper products and soap. And if you don't know, that is rare. I also ran past a few folks that looked like they may have been on hard times, and they always smiled and didn't give me any issues. In closing, I want to say that whatever you all are doing here, keep it up, and I look forward to visiting again. I'm a 36-year-old guy, and this is the first email like this I have written. Thank you again, John Snow. So thank you to the council, and thank you to citizens of Hot Springs. These kinds of emails are appreciated, and they're easy to share. And thank you again, everyone. It's appreciated. Well, my mayor's report. I want to thank all the volunteers that have been out and about in the city, literally taking weed, pulling in their own hands, and have attempted to help clean up the downtown area prior to the start of the 6th annual Fall River Hot Air Balloon Festival. End quote. Their efforts have made a noticeable difference in the looks of our downtown areas, and I want to personally thank all of you for stepping up and helping out the city. As Missy had said, the City Council will have another budget meeting to finalize their 2022 budget on this Thursday, August 19th at 9 p.m. at the Newland Center. And finally, City Administrator John Gregory has submitted his resignation with the City of Hot Springs effective immediately. John brought a particular set of skills to his appointment with the city, and they won't be easy to replace. Nevertheless, we'll begin advertising for the City Administrator position. On behalf of the City, the Council, and myself, we wish the best for John as he moves on down the line. Thank you for your service to the City of Hot Springs. Any questions for me?
I think you said at 9 p.m.
You did say
Fine.
that, yeah. I do.
9 p.m.? Yeah. That gives us a little more time after we get off work to settle in and do those kinds of things done. Thank you. I was checking to see if you were paying attention. It's 5 p.m. If you have no questions, I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?